We are officially live.
Good evening. Welcome to the WeGro AMA, which means ask me anything. So we want you to ask lots of questions tonight. We're looking forward to hearing from you. We're coming to you live, coast to coast here in the US and around the world. It's March 10th, the last time I checked, yes. And we're so happy that you're here tonight. We're really excited. We have a big show tonight, a really big show. And we're going to cover a lot. We have our lovely Lisa Lawson, who is our co-MC tonight, joining me. Unfortunately, Rachel Amin is traveling abroad. So we're excited to have Lisa. Thank you so much for being here, Lisa. If you don't know, Lisa is one of our moderators within our social media groups, such as Telegram and others. So thank you, Lisa, for joining us tonight.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Excellent. And we're so happy to have back financial advisor, analyst, crypto pioneer, crypto consultant, entrepreneur, Justin Mayer. Thank you, Justin, for being with us tonight.
Of course, guys.
And I want to start by introducing the rest of the WeGro executive team. First and foremost, I'm going to start with our co-founder and president, a longtime entrepreneur in complementary alternative medicine, as well as, if those don't know this, he is a 20-year veteran of film and cinema, and that includes digital video production. And just a little fun fact about Mr. Sean Crawford. Thank you, Sean, for being here tonight. And our other co-founder, COO, really is the true Swiss Army knife of WeGro Coin, and that's our beloved Mr. Rick Gilchrist. Thank you, Rick.
Everybody.
Last but never least, our CEO and our co-founder, veteran of publishing and marketing and branding and all things complementary alternative medicine, CAM for short, Mr. Walt Rampada.
How's everybody doing tonight?
Thank you so much, guys. So with that, I'm going to turn the mic over in just a minute. I got to take care of our attorney's work. I was about to turn the mic over to Walt, but first, ladies and gentlemen, the statements, opinions, and analyses presented in tonight's AMA are provided as general information only. Any opinions, estimates, and probabilities expressed are merely a current snapshot of today's disposition and are subject to change without notice. While all the information you're going to hear tonight's AMA, we always, of course, believe it to be 100% accurate, presenters and hosts make no express guarantee as to the accuracy of the information shared. As such, contained in tonight's broadcast should not ever be construed or ever interpreted as forward-looking statements or investment advice or any projected earnings for making buying decisions. And that said, now I'm very happy to turn the mic over to Mr. Walt Rampada once again.
Thank you, everybody. I want to thank everybody who's joining us for this new AMA format that we're doing tonight. We added an additional channel to our conversation. Specifically, for those that are listening now on Twitter Spaces, we want to welcome you. This is for the Binance Smart Chain Community and Utility Spaces group that we're holding tonight. In some ways, this is also how we're utilizing this spaces for our AMA for WeGro. WeGro Coin, if you want to check us out, WeGroCoin.com, spelled WeGroCoin.com. And we're going to be talking tonight about a bunch of different things, the state of the industry, where crypto is today, where we're headed. Additionally, we're going to be taking a bunch of different questions from our audience tonight, and specifically the answers or questions that have been generated over the past week in our social groups. And then additionally, we'll talk about some of the upcoming things that are happening with us as an organization for those that wish to understand. And we'll wrap up with some information about how you can join us on this journey. So without further ado, we're going to jump into where things are within crypto today. And for those that have been following any of the world news, crypto has been pushed very quickly into the forefront. Last week or a couple of weeks ago, with the advent of the war in Ukraine, we've started seeing how unfortunately or fortunately, individuals in that country are able to receive funds electronically, and there's been a deluge of people trying to pour out support in a digital format for Ukraine. We've seen a number of different things that are happening around the country. We're hearing reports about how they're trying to shut down Russia's access to different cryptocurrencies. And we're also hearing some backlash from the crypto community as well, understanding that the outset of or the advent of crypto was the promise of anonymity and the ability to do things at any time. So this is an interesting time for our industry in many ways. Coming back to US shores, today was a big day. For those that were reading US papers, Joe Biden took a step that many of us in the industry have been patiently awaiting, and that is the establishment of a crypto oversight and blockchain oversight committee formed with the US Treasury Department and a couple of other organizations within the US government. They are bringing in a number of really smart people from government and from industry. So we're anxious to see what comes out of that committee. Hopefully, we'll start to see some answers for some of the long lost questions that many of us have been wrestling with. And if anything else, it's done one thing, and that is for sure. It has legitimized the fact that this is where things are going. It has legitimized the fact that those 5% of people, and hopefully now larger, depending on where you are in the world, that understand what crypto is, are really part of the beginning stages of where this is going. And the fact that the US government, many governments for that matter, are now starting to legitimize crypto through either legalizing it within their country or adding or putting together committees. We're starting to see a huge shift when it comes to the understanding of where crypto sits within our world. That said, we're seeing a number of things happening within our own community. The advancement and the charts over the last number of weeks have been nothing short of a roller coaster. And to that, I want to talk a little bit about where we are currently within our market this week, how things are looking for the week to come, and what we might be able to expect on the horizon. And with that, I'm going to pass it over to my co-founder, Sean Crawford, and our consultant, Justin Mayer, to talk briefly about where the industry is.
Well, yeah, thanks, Walt. And I'll just briefly lead into this and let Justin kind of comment on his the way he sees it as well. But you know, there's a lot of things that are happening right now that could influence the way that it's going to go. You know, it's been trading, as you can tell, Binance has been trading sideways here pretty much all week. We'll probably be seeing that, you know, at least for another week or so, maybe more, you know, from my standpoint, my own personal opinion. Again, this is not financial advice, so please do your own research. But, you know, the way that I've seen it, it's been trading sideways, and we could probably look at another couple weeks of that. There's a lot of things that could happen, though. Obviously, with the new Biden order for the study on cryptocurrency, how it relates to the release of a digital dollar, and how that digital dollar and other international digital currencies could influence the value of the digital dollar in the marketplace, and what that would mean for that. So obviously, it's going to mean an inclusion of a lot of cryptocurrency that's already currently out there. This could be, you know, these are steps in the right direction. So the unknown is always the most scary, and usually that's when people pull money out of the market when they're unsure or don't know. But I think that the new commission that's being formed is going to provide a lot of clarity and give open a ground for more stable investment, for more informed investment, and having a better feeling about that amongst the community. So I believe that this is very positive. Obviously, the war in Ukraine will influence the current state of the market as well. So anxious to see how all this plays out, but I view this as a positive thing. So.
Yeah, and I would kind of echo some of the sentiments that you have too. Is when we, especially in the deregulated, decentralized environment that we're in, when you hear regulation or government intervening, sometimes that can be scary because you don't know, like, what are they going to do? But I think there needs to be some regulation in the industry to protect consumers. There's a lot of rug pulls and scams out there. So I think that's going to be some good things that will come from whatever this committee that he's putting together, will come about. And some people are thinking they're coming in because they want to squash crypto. Like, if the government wanted to get rid of crypto, they could literally get rid of it in one way. They can say, hey, every transaction you do from now until April 1st or April 15th, like tax day, is going to be completely tax free. And then after that, it's going to be taxed at 95% rates. Like, and everybody would just sell their positions and move back into cash. Like, if they wanted to kill crypto, they could. They want to be able to control it so that they can get their piece of the pie. That's the end game. They want to be able to tax it efficiently. So they got to establish rules. Well, to establish the rules, they need to know what the playing field is. And so that's what they're doing. And that's going to take some time before we see any major changes coming down the pipeline. And as far as what's going on with Ukraine, that's the curveball. Like, you never know. Like, we could be escalating into further war. There could be further inflation, gas prices going up because of supply chain issues. All of those things could come down the pipeline. And what you usually see is when bad things are happening, whether it's this market or the traditional stock market, is there's always a flight to security. People with more riskier assets tend to sell those off and they go back to something that they're comfortable with. And the fact that WeGro is still up, even with everything going on, shows you that they realize that the value is there, the value proposition, rather than most of the meme coins are down way more than Bitcoin and Ethereum, which, again, like the main players you use as like the benchmarks, like the S&P you would use in the traditional world. So the fact that we're doing pretty good means that we're primed, just like any company that would be coming out of a recession. We're primed for success down the line because we've weathered this storm. And I think that's really because of the messaging and the efforts that you guys are doing in the background, because you're actually building something that's real, that people are like, well, why am I going to get rid of this investment? Like, why am I going to let what Russia is doing dictate my investment strategy for the long term? JP Morgan did a really good piece on this, when COVID hit and everybody had to shut down the environment. And they said, sometimes the best thing to do is nothing. So they actually tracked the S&P from January 1 of 2000 to real time, that March 1st, when the government started shutting things down. And they found that if you stayed invested in the S&P that period of time, your average return was about 7% per year. But if you missed just the best 10 days in the market, so out of that 20-year period, if you missed the best 10 days, your return got cut in half. If you missed the best 20 days, you actually broke even. And if you missed the best 30 days, you actually lost 6% per year. And then they also found that within the best 10 days in the market, most of those happen, about 7 to 8 of them happen within a week of one of the worst 10 days in the market. So the whole adage is you have to take emotion out of investing when you do these things, because most of the time you're going to be on the wrong end of it. You're going to, a missile gets sent off and you get spooked, you sell off, and then the market recovers from it very quickly. So I think that's what you saw with our token, why we survived that little storm over the last couple of weeks, is because most of our investors realized, most of our holders will say, realized that this is not a short-term play. This is something that is actually going to be there long-term. So why sell it off because of something that Russia's doing that has nothing to do with the project that you're building? So yeah, I'm actually really optimistic because of all of those things. And again, there's no telling what could happen tomorrow, but that's why sometimes the best thing to do when scary things are happening or there's uncertainty is nothing. Don't make rash decisions in the short term.
I think it's a sign of the times when the ruble drops and everyone floods over and starts buying crypto. I'm sure there was a lot of gold bought. I'm sure there's a lot of silver bought, but there was a lot of crypto bought. And I think
it definitely shows you, like, the whole reason why crypto was started was to again, be global and not have any one government dictate something. I mean, you saw it even just in the same period of time. I think it was Venezuela started coming up with like plans to just ban, you know, Coinbase or somebody listed on there. And it's like, all right, if the government's able to just shut down anything they want, like, well, that's where crypto comes in, is if it's deregulated and no one government controls the access to it or can ban your use of it. Like Russia could shut down all the banks right now and say nobody's allowed to take any of their money out. I don't know if they've already done something similar to that, but like they could if they wanted to. And there's nothing their citizens can do about it.
Yeah. Hey, I got a question for you guys. I'm going to go, since Rachel's not here and she always loves to talk about that small fact of how few coins actually have a utility to them. And, you know, Justin, you have mentioned that the meme coins are down and, you know, people believe in WeGro and that's why we're still here. With Biden's order, do you see that affecting some of the meme coins even more? Do you think some of those will be out of the market as they start being looked at more?
100%, because most of them are pure cash grabs. There's no utility, there's no function behind it. It's you, how many influencers or how many, you know, marketing firms can I go to really quickly, get my name out there, shill it around as fast as possible, and then sell off as many shares as I can and get some money and move on to the next project and just rinse, repeat, and do it anonymously too. That's what most people are doing. Biden's order, good, bad, indifferent, however you feel about it, like the findings that he's going to get from that committee is they're going to say, okay, well, we need to at least eliminate that part of the marketplace. We understand crypto is going to be great for X, Y, Z, for especially, you know, reasons like this, where we can send money to your friends in Russia to help them right now because they might not be able to access their funds in the bank, or again, their funds are worthless now because of the way that their dollars, you know, rubles falling as fast as it is. And, you know, that's where, some things will change, like those scams, those rug pulls, like some of those things will get eliminated because they're going to have to put those consumer protections in place, or at least have warning symbols on it to say like, hey, this thing has no utility. Maybe, if you want to speculate on it, I mean, you go back to like the 1400s where tulips could buy you a house and then the market crashed. You can speculate on anything, and as long as somebody else on the other side says it has value, you can invest in it per se. But I think, that could be something that comes down the pipeline, is useless coins, the, you know, shit coins we call them. Like, those will probably go to the wayside, and people who want to invest in them, it's kind of like the penny stocks on the pink slips, you know, in the traditional world. Like, you can go invest in those if you want to, but you know that there's a high level of risk with those. And so, you know, most of them are going to be scams and they don't have any real value long term.
Hopefully weeding out the bad actors. And the reassurance that this commission, just the perception alone, should also help those that maybe are on the cusp or, you know, sitting on the fence, feel a lot better about the companies like WeGro and the 7% of the coins out there that have true sustainable business models, Justin.
Exactly. Yes, I agree with that.
What other questions, Lisa, do you have?
Well, I'm going to bring some to you guys that are coming from the community. For those, I know, Todd, you had mentioned it earlier, so I moderate on a lot of our social medias and some questions that have been coming from the group. One wants to know, once we have the WeGro Wallet come out, what would be the benefit of switching to the WeGro Wallet versus what we're already using?
That for a lot of reasons. So besides it being a working interface that you could interact with the upcoming WeGro debit and credit cards, which, you know, you're able to hold WeGro in the wallet and earn crypto rewards back. That's one of the main reasons. Obviously, you know, you get paid to use the WeGro wallet, and that's I think a reason that most people can get behind. But also, it's going to be kind of a control panel for you to choose permissions for the data that you want to share and not share. So having that control over your data, having that ability to decide what people see, what they don't see, what you want to be remunerated for, what you want to have just your doctor see, or you're going to be able to do that. And along with a slew of other features, which, without getting into all the little surprises we plan on unveiling here soon, there's going to be a lot of reasons to and a lot of use out of the WeGro wallet that extends past what a traditional non-custodial wallet has been up to date. So this is the next step, and give you something that you can actually use every day and really get some benefit out of within the ecosystem.
Awesome. It's kind of holding our spot in that one of the 7% that have utility. Another question from the group, guys. Is there any timeline on when we will have the Fiat on-ramping?
And we're getting a lot of questions about that. There's a lot of interest from the community.
There is a lot for this one, yes.
Yeah. So I'll start by saying, to clarify for those that are listening for the first time, we have listened to our community, which in many ways mimics the crypto community at large, and listen to their challenges in participating with us. Listen to the things that they were wrestling with and becoming a part of the community, understanding that within DeFi, it's one thing to understand crypto. It's another thing to actually physically go through the steps of purchasing DeFi. And those people that are new to this space, especially those adopting and going into any type of altcoin or DeFi, it has hit many challenges with the purchasing process. And so to answer those questions and answer those concerns, I'm not going to steal the win, because I'm seeing him smiling, and I want him to talk about it, because this has been his baby in many ways. We're real excited about what we're calling our easy button, but I'll pass the mic to Sean to talk a little bit more about
it. And that's fine. Was it obvious? I was bursting at the seams there. No, and I am today, especially because the onboarding with our bank is complete, and we have an up and active account, and so we're still doing some last minute checks and security detail associated with the buy now button. But to say we're close is an understatement. We're kind of we're on the home stretch, so I don't want to give out a date yet, because I don't want to put something out and then we want to make things a little bit tighter. Once we have something that we're like, okay, this is a good working model, we're all going to assess it as a group, see if there's any last minute things that are really necessary for us to include, and then it will be rolling out here shortly. But yeah, a lot of progress there, and today being a good milestone for that.
Guys, that is awesome. I mean, I know there's been some trouble the past couple of days with MoonPay not allowing people to buy. So I think that's great. And I think obviously the easier it is to buy it, the more people are going to buy it. So that's fantastic news. The last question I have for you guys today is, when is Lambo?
When Lambo? When we grow together, and that's what we're doing. We're all going to get there together. So I'm looking forward to that. And I asked myself that same question, and the good news is, with all the progress that we've been making, I feel that I can see it a lot better. And I don't necessarily know that Lambo is for me, but for you guys, when Lambo, we grow soon, I hope.
Awesome, guys. Thank you so much. That's all I got from the community right now today, but I know there will be more next week.
Thank you, Lisa.
You're awesome. Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you.
I want to step in here and just pay mention to the amazing team that we have that works with us every day, that unfortunately aren't able to pile on to these AMAs every week with us. So the screen would be completely full, and you probably wouldn't be able to recognize anybody because the pictures would be so small. We've got an immense team every day that helps us lift and push WeGro along. We've got in that regard an amazing team. We're very appreciative of them. We have an incredible marketing staff, both here in the US and offshore with our partner in Clint Marketing in Belgium. And then additionally, we've got a number of people that have recently joined our team, too many to announce. but just pay mention that we as an organization are continuing to grow. We're adding new staff members almost every week at this point, and the trajectory of where we're heading is awesome. And in that regard, we couldn't do it without you, the community, first and foremost. It's your support, it's your rallying, it's you helping us along that is driving this train. So first and foremost, the community is our biggest thing that we're thankful for every day. And as I talk about many times on our AMAs, you know, the sum total of what WeGro does is not who we are. At the end of the day, WeGro is about the heart and the soul that makes up the organization. The team members that you see on our AMAs, those that are not here on our AMAs and are supporting us and working diligently every day, and first and foremost, the community at large. So it's this major engine of people every day that we're just blown away by the support. And we're hoping that we can continue to impress upon you and deliver for you and hit all the milestones that we have laid out in front of us. One of the things I want to make mention of is our ambassador program. If you'd like to find out more about WeGro, if you'd like to participate actively in helping push the WeGro community along, we have an ambassador program, and it's not your average ambassador program. We actually spent some time, some focus, and some hard-earned dollars to put this together. We're utilizing a partner organization named Social Toaster. It's a social amplification platform that allows us to provide a ambassador program where you can participate and not only participate, but be rewarded for your efforts. And it's this system through Social Toaster that allows us to provide those rewards. If we had to sit with an Excel spreadsheet or a piece of paper and keep note of everybody's efforts every day, it'd be really challenging and more often than not, probably not accurate enough. So we wanted to make sure we were doing our community justice. So again, we spent some time, some effort, some money to put this program together. We hope you join us. If you wish to join our ambassador program, please send an email to info@wegrocoin.com. Again, without the W and the spelling of grow, info@wegrocoin.com. Additionally, if you have questions that have not been answered on today's AMA, or if you have questions about any of the things that are happening with inside WeGro, please, again, also feel free to email us at info@wegrocoin.com. We monitor that email address and answer and respond to people on the regular. With that, I think it's probably is apropos for us to spend a brief moment talking about who WeGro is. We've talked a lot around the industry. Oh, Lisa, you look like you want to raise
Real quick. Nope, just going back to the ambassador program. Don't forget, you can also go directly to wegro.socialtoaster.com, which is WeGro.socialtoaster.com.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa.
Good stuff. So for those that are new to WeGro and to this channel on Twitter, I want to take just a brief moment to talk about who WeGro is. I think it is important for those that have not met us before to understand a little bit about where we are within the crypto universe, what sets us apart, and a little bit about where we're headed. I'll also start by saying, if you have not checked out our website, please do so. Please check out wegrocoin.com. You on that website will not only find information about how to purchase WeGro token and WeGro coin, but you will also find information about the organization itself, our roadmap. You'll find our light paper. You'll also find the executive team, some brief bios on all of us. Please take a moment to check us out. Unlike many other cryptos that are out there, we are real people. You can check us out on our social channels, on LinkedIn, and at wegrocoin.com. So jumping into WeGro Coin, we started this journey in not too long ago, but it has advanced very quickly. And the focus with WeGro Coin has always been about community. From the very seed of the start of this organization, pun intended, the thoughts with how we were to help our friends was paramount. And with that focus, we started to look at how can we marry that when it comes to providing a currency with true utility. And with that, hence now we have WeGro. And the focus of that is to provide some unique benefits to our holders, and also to provide a flourishing community that continually grows. And through both of those, allow for people to properly be rewarded for those pieces of themselves that they tend to share unknowingly today without reward, namely their data. And so without going too deep into all the aspects of our organization, again, I'm going to stress, please check out our website. You're going to find a wealth of information there. But I do think it's important for tonight's AMA and for this group specifically within Twitter, for us to talk about our tokenomics, because as a cryptocurrency, we have some unique tokenomics that really distinguish where we are, where we're headed, and why we set this up. And you're going to understand some of the benefits of why we talk about community a lot when Sean talks about how our tokenomics work.
All right, yeah, thank you. Definitely. So, we're a Binance Smart Chain BEP20 token, and we do so with an 8% transaction fee that for crypto to crypto transactions. So 5% of that 8% goes directly back to all the holders of WeGro. So if you hold WeGro in your wallet, you're receiving Smart Chain reflections back. We do it in Smart Chain rather than WeGro token, so it doesn't cause any downward selling pressure. If people wanted to sell off their reflections, though, most of the time people put them back into WeGro, which actually just gives it a price push relative to the market. So that was on purpose. Then 1% immediately goes back into liquidity on Pancake Swap, so raising the relative price floor. So every transaction that you do, every transaction that anyone does on the WeGro network, 1% is going directly back to liquidity to help raise that price floor. And then the remaining 2% is kind of what WeGro is all about. We'll take that 2% and we use it as a way to expand the ecosystem with WeGro and a way to accumulate more data. We will find point of sale companies, really any the picks and the shovels of the industry, so to speak. We supply chain businesses. We will acquire those, and because those businesses are using WeGro to settle transactions, we're accumulating more data as well as increasing volume relative to the market conditions, and which obviously benefits the holders in more ways than one, from their static rewards that they're receiving to the accumulation of data, which gives value to the community as well, which I'll let Rick talk about here in a little bit.
Like that might have been my cue.
But
A little bit as in right now.
Yeah.
Mike is yours.
Love it.
Yeah. No, it's interesting because we look at not only how the utility of the token is real, and we talked about how all these new market entrants, they're still looking at a lot of meme coins, and lack of utility is prevalent with 93% of everything that's being released. Even some of these mainstream coins, they lack utility as well, and the utility that we're bringing to this is multifunctional. We talked a little bit about how the data is valuable, but it really is on multiple levels. You as a consumer, let's think about this right now. You as a consumer, you're the package for Facebook. You're the package. You're the product that's going out of Instagram, out of Amazon. When you're using loyalty programs, when you're not reading that fine print is telling you that your data is now being shared with that entity as well as their partners, and they're making money off of your data. So let's start off with that one level right there. That one little piece of data, that the fact that they know you exist, is worth a couple cents. You start layering on data pieces like your phone number, an email address, maybe it's your first purchase. Well, now it's worth a little bit more. You start identifying anything from being a patient, somebody that's trying to live a better lifestyle, that's focused on wellness, that is looking to feel a certain way, that's going from dealing with insomnia, but you're addicted to Starbucks and you're actually contributing that information. You don't think Starbucks is using that as well? Well, they are. And out of the 4,400 information brokers out there, the top 270 are reselling your data daily. So we'll put this into natural parlance. If you're just looking at reselling your personal data, licensing your data, that represents about $111,000 a year, selling your data one time to those 270 brokers. That's a lot of money that they're making off of you. You should be making that money. And there was a recent report that was actually released today. During the pandemic, there were a lot of businesses that offered all-in-one services, all-in-one platforms actually, that went into the CAM industry to kind of help these smaller businesses, survive the pandemic, survive the lockdown, offering everything from delivery to online ordering and e-commerce. This spans from complementary and alternative medicine all the way through food delivery. And in the process of these small businesses trying to survive, what they lost was the control of the data that was being collected as a result of that. And now they no longer have that data sovereignty. So it's their business's data and it's their consumers' data that's now being relicensed back out there. And there are some very, very notable integrators out there that are now seeing this happen. And when we're now coming back to a little bit of a new normal, but these larger companies now own that data as well. Well, what WeGro data and WeGro Coin is actually doing with the utility is putting the power of your data back in your hands and back in the hands of the businesses as well. So with every transaction, that data is staying with the business and not going off to third parties. That data is going with you, the consumer, you, the patient, you, the lifestyle expert, you, the person that's integrating with that. And at the same time, those businesses that would never actually talk to each other through the solution that we're building will actually be able to look at their data and compare it to the data from others as well, all staying completely anonymous. Something that is stripped of all the personally identifiable information. And what are we going to do? Well, we're going to pay you to license your data out. So instead of it just being automatically shared out by organizations that claim to be, on your side, and saying they're not going to resell it. And as we see these laws tightening up and the compliance around everything from data collection to data sharing, we're looking at what's happening in Europe right now, specifically with that. This gives you both utility and function when it comes to the power of your data. So you're going to get paid to license your data. And the key is license your data. You're not selling it. It's still yours. It's just going to be used for things like research, for marketing, for validation of products, looking at your general wellness. This could be used for everything from FDA clinical research trials to building a better mousetrap. And that's something that can have real form and function for larger organizations. But for you, you're going to get paid to do that. It's no longer going to Facebook. It's no longer going to, LinkedIn. It's not going to Amazon anymore. It's yours. So that's just one aspect of that utility and that function. Let's look at the other side of this though. How often do you want to be able to share your data to perform a function? You want to prove to the TSA that, hey, I've had all my vaccines. I have a negative COVID shot. I should be able to walk through security, get on a plane without any hassle whatsoever. Well, now you can go ahead and create that utility. You can store your data on the blockchain. You can have that travel with you, share it with the TSA or an airport authority or a cruise ship for that matter. And then at the end of your trip, turn it off. Your data's back to being yours again. Nobody else can see it, but it served a purpose for that specific use case. And we can apply this to everything from applying for a mortgage all the way down to, sharing your health records with 5 different providers. Your gastroenterologist, your orthopedist, and your general practitioner now see all the same thing. So where we're going and where we're coming from has a lot of form, function, utility, but at the same time, it's going to create some organizational change out there. You know, the way we look at the way we're interacting with the world, both digital and in person. And that's what excites me more about this project than anything else.
Well, it's amazing the impact, Rick, that this organization as a financial product is going to have for literally accelerating the advancement of clinical trials. And you think about the pharmaceutical industry, you think about the multi-billions that they make with a drug. And wouldn't it be nice to have a little bit of that shared when it comes to the data to help accelerate a drug that might help cell research when it comes to proving, coming up with different cures for the multiplicity of cancers out there. I mean, it's really altruistic at the end of the day, what we're doing. Yes, we're all going to make money, but the altruism is truly.
Todd, I got to say it, I like the word altruistic, but I also like profits with a purpose a lot better.
Mm.
Yeah, the reality is that you're right about things like, being able to help with clinical trial research, developing new drugs, but maybe it's more like developing new protocols, more therapies.
Mm-hmm.
The idea and why we're expanding away from just, one simple part of plant medicine into all plant medicine, to all complementary medicine and all alternative medicine, expanding that out beyond just that microscopic or smaller area of focus allows us to understand how these things are working together. There's no panacea out there. There's no magic cure-all for one specific condition, and everybody's unique. We know this. We know that certain people can drink 500 milligrams of caffeine and fall right to sleep,
Mm-hmm.
and others, if they work out too late in the day, they're not sleeping until 4 a.m. So again, this is individualized. We're talking about you as an individual and your data being given back to you as an individual to help you live a better life or find a better product or be able to trust where a product's coming from, all the way down to how businesses can do better business and serve a community better, serve you as an individual better, and understand a better supply chain. What goes in the ground all the way to what ends up on the shelf. The form factor for a certain product in Florida is going to be a different form factor than it is in Oregon. And
Truly.
It greatly affects all of those areas.
Truly the epitome of the greater good, for sure. And on that note, when we think about alternative medicine, Walt, if you could maybe expand on that and about some of the recent developments around complementary alternative medicine.
So thank you. We've been leading up to this. We've had some mention of this on our social channels. We've been leaking this out just a bit to get everybody excited, but we've made a shift as an organization, as Rick has alluded to, in wanting to better understand, wanting to better provide more complete data, wanting to better assist in change. When we initially started this journey, it was very much myopic on a very linear side of CAM, complementary and alternative medicine, which encompasses everything from cannabis to psilocybin to acupuncture to yoga to a number of different wellness modalities and states and treatments that are much broader than just a single focus on one of the plants. And understanding that, we can really in many ways institute some real change because the nature of the scope of what that touches and the effect of all those different things that we're now starting to really uncover. And the challenge to date for those that have been involved in any of those industries has been that there's been a lot of conjecture. There's been a lot of anecdotal evidence. There has been a lot of stigma on some of these things. And unfortunately, because of many of those pieces, it's been difficult to get the true information, the verifiable information so that when the doctors go to make recommendations, so that when you, the patient, are truly trying to look at your health in a complete fashion, you have the ability to make those decisions. And unfortunately, on this side of the spectrum, and I say the CAM side of the spectrum, complementary and alternative medicine, that's been drastically challenging for a long time. And it is that we're now starting to see an awakening happen in some respect, of people starting to recognize that everything that goes into this system, it contributes to their well-being. And that includes what they eat, what they consume as far as pharmaceuticals and different medications, and in many ways, how stable this thing is between the two ears. And that varies, individually, obviously. But in that spectrum, we have had numerous conversations with partner organizations. We have a lot of depth of knowledge and support. And additionally, we as an organization feel can again impact the most change. So we're making a shift to a larger, broader focus as an organization. And in many ways, it's because we believe and know in many ways that what we are building, the system, the structure, the ecosystem that we are putting together can handle and shoulder a much broader industry at that. And in many ways is built to truly assemble that level of information and do it in a fashion where we can now permissively share it and reward people for doing that with their own data rather than allowing somebody else to profit from it. So it's our way of, again, trying to impact change, put the power back into our community, and allow that wave of community to also have a hand in that impact of change. So we're very excited about the shift in focus. It's a little acronym, 3 letters, CAM. You're going to see a change on our website with that acronym. But we wanted everybody to understand that we're excited about going in this direction because it's a much broader focus that allows for a lot more opportunity to have impact and change the things that we're most passionate about.
Fantastic. Well, thank you. Do you see any other questions coming through the social channels, Lisa?
No, I think everybody's too busy listening right now to ask any questions. But I want to say I'm pretty excited about the change. I think it encompasses so much, and there's just so much out there that we don't think about right now, as you kind of alluded to, Walt, what we're putting in our bodies, whether it's the food or the pharmaceuticals. And I think to be able to bring that focus to that, alternative medicine is just awesome.
I think a lot of this is going to really start to show itself when we get into the wallet and some of the features in the wallet and functionality there. And I think it really made a lot of sense for us to broaden our horizon as we move into these things, because it's just so many things that encompass health and well-being, as well as from a physical standpoint to a financial standpoint, well-being on many levels, that we're going to be able to address and accommodate our community with some of the features that we have coming up. So it made a lot of sense for us, and it's just more appropriate and better wording. So, but really nothing's changed. We're still the same WeGro. So
yeah,
we're just growing.
Yep, just growing. Right.
Well, fantastic. Well, as a tradition, what we'd like to do at the end of each of our AMA broadcasts is talk about what next steps are, what the road looks like, in the days and weeks to come. So though we're here every week, Walt, why don't you take us home and maybe talk about 1 or 2 things that are fresh and exciting that the audience can maybe chew on tonight.
Yeah, I've got actually 2 great things for the audience tonight.
Awesome.
Number 1, join us next week on our AMA. A number of the members of the team are going to be broadcasting live from Massachusetts on the advent of the start of NECAN, the New England Cannabis Conference. So we're very excited to be talking with a number of individuals and organizations while we're in Boston, and we'll be happy to report and provide up-to-date information as to how things are going up there. So please join us next week. And then the week following, we're in discussions with Michael Longcar, to host our AMA with him once again. We've got some interesting things in the mix with Michael that will be filtering out through social media over the coming days and weeks leading up to that. So 2 weeks from now, we're going to be looking to do an AMA on Longcar Live and join Michael for another fun-filled hour, because we had a blast the last time. I'm looking forward to this one. And there's been so much that's transpired since our last AMA with him in the poker world. And I'm real excited to talk to that community, because a number of aspects of what we at WeGro are building could have some real benefits when it comes to the professional poker community. So I'm very excited for us to join that audience. So please, if you get a chance, please join us 2 weeks from now on Longcar Live. We'll be sure to, again, put information out in our social channels about how you can join us. And until then, check out our website, check out WeGro, WEGRO /social toaster, or is it .social toaster? .social toaster, SOCIALTOASTER.com for our ambassador program. You can also, if you have any questions, email us at info@wegrocoin.com. And until next time, we greatly appreciate everybody showing up tonight and taking some time to listen to us. We also want to thank you for your continued support. Without the community, we wouldn't be here. Thank you.
Amen. Amen. Thank you all for that. It's very exciting. And we also want to remember our brothers and sisters in the Ukraine tonight and every day. We all ache and we all share the burden of this horrible tragedy. So we at WeGro are a very caring community, and it's about people. So we extend our thoughts and prayers for anybody who has been impacted that's watching tonight, whether you're even possibly watching from Ukraine and Europe or anywhere in the world right now. We're with you. And that said, Walt, we're going to wish you all adieu and a very good night. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you. Bless you all.
Hi, guys. Good night.
Night.